All right, y'all. It's Rad Randy back. Getting a little late start on this video. Man, these inner corners, they're kicking my butt. Let me show y'all what I got. Y'all know I made a video where I made this one up. And it looks pretty good, and it would have worked, but this thing has got a crazy sharp curve up in here on this side. The other side's not like that, and I don't know why they made this so different, but they did. And it's got a crazy curve right there. So what I did was I just made me another pattern to go up in here, and then I split it right here so that I could bend this piece over. And that's what I did. Got it made, and then I after I got that piece fitting like it should, of course I need some clamps on it before I weld it, but I got all my holes, I got it tacked in place. Then you've got to go up behind this tail pan here, and that's what closes it out, is this goes up against this in here, and you know, kind of seals it off. But you've also got to have a crack in here, enough room for this panel to go up in behind it when you put it on. So you got a whole lot of stuff going on right there in that one little spot. And you're working, I don't know, it's just all backwards to me trying to figure all that out up in there. But I got it figured out, got it done, got this side. I figured I'd wait. I'm working on the other side now. I'll show it to y'all. Now I was able to use the one I made for this side. I think it's gonna work out okay. I've got to final weld it, trim it up in here, and you know, get it to where I can get it fitting and get it to where I can weld it in permanent back here. And I believe it's gonna work out okay. But man, that was a tough part for me. Yeah, I could have just took a scrap piece of metal and flopped over that and welded it up and not worried about this sealing in here or nothing, and you know, got by with it. But I don't like doing stuff like that, so I'm not going to weld this to this up under here. I'm going to probably just go in there after I get everything welded up and take some seam sealer and run along that little crack, if there is any in there, back here, to seal that off. Do that on both sides, and that should be good to go right there. I got through it, and I guess what I'll do next is I'll probably finish that up over there, get that thing, take it back off, trim it, get it fitting up in there like I got this one, get it tacked in place. And then we'll start putting these corner pieces on. These corner pieces, I'm not going to use no more than what I have to. I probably won't cut this back any more than what it is now. I won't cut it on up here, you know, like this corner piece is made, just because of this shape here. This is a real sharp corner, and this radius on this piece here is a real rounded shape. So the least amount of this I can use, the better off I'll be. So I probably won't cut it back up no farther than what it is there now. I'll clean this up across here, and right down this seam, I'll cut it. I'm pretty sure there's some spot welds in there. I'll find them and drill them out, take this lip off all the way up through here, and I'm sure there's probably some lead in there I got to get out. But I'll do that, and I'll get started on those. All right, well, I just thought I'd start the video out and show y'all where I was at, what I was working on. I'll get busy getting that other one to this point, and then we'll start putting them corner pieces in. All right, well, I'll be back with y'all in a little while. All right, y'all. Man, it's hot in Georgia. It's hot in Georgia. All right, I just thought I'd come on here and show y'all what I got with these things. I went ahead and welded all this in, cleaned it up, ground it off on the outside, got it where it fits pretty good. I've been putting the tail pan up here and, you know, getting this shape just right so it'll close it out. And I got this other side, got it done. Got it all welded in there, and it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. I still gotta clean up the welds on the inside, and there's a little bit of welding up here in this corner that I'm gonna have to do, but I'm gonna wait until I cut this off and put that piece on here and finish all that up. But looking pretty good, looking pretty good. And I had somebody comment about the primer that I use. This is a weld-through primer. I believe it's got like 86% zinc. It's a weld-through etch primer, and I've had pretty good luck with it. It works pretty good. I buy it, you know, off Amazon. Most of the time I buy 2 of these at a time. Right off the top of my head, I can't think of the price, but it's, you know, it's reasonable. Any weld-through primers, they're all probably going to be about the same in price, but I've had pretty good luck with this. So you might want to give it a try if you're looking for, you know, a weld-through primer. Try it out and see how you like it. But anyway, okay. All right, I started messing with these corner pieces here. One thing, yeah, I don't know, man. This is a hard shape to work with. There's so many curves and crevices and bends and everything. You know, I told you about the bend here being a real round bend, and then on the car it's a real sharp bend in that corner right there. And I said in the last segment I was going to use a small portion of this rather than use the whole thing. Just make it easier, you know, and then it won't look so bad with that, you know, radius on there. But anyway, I went ahead and cut, there's a flange. Let me find this other piece and I'll show you. There's a flange on this thing right here on the back side, and that's where these 2 pieces go together on the inside of that, and they're spot welded down this piece here. They're spot welded together. Well, I'm not going to go in that tight spot and try to drill spot welds out and all that kind of stuff. So what I did is I went ahead and I cut that little flange off, and I might trim it back a little more. But I went ahead and trimmed that flange off so that I could get this thing up here pretty close. Because with that flange sticking out right here, it pushes the whole thing out, and trying to fit this thing is a nightmare anyway. But I'll probably trim this back probably another 1/2 inch or so, get away from that seam, and then I'll just butt weld it up through there. Do the same down here around this curve. But I was trying to figure out how I'm going to cut it, and I'll probably cut it a little above this, and keep all this here as much as I can. And one of the things I came up with is this. I set up the laser back here behind me, and got it set to where I want a cut line at. All right, then I figured, well, just to be on the safe side, I would fit this up here in place, and then just trim this about 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch above that laser line for right now, just to get it a little closer, and then just ease up on it, and because that's going to be hard to, you know, get just right and be able to butt weld it all along that seam, all along those curves and seams, and get it just right. So I got the laser set up so that I can, it's the same now. I can cut that line, then I can put this up here and cut that line and be pretty close with it. But anyway, I thought I marked it a little above it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off, and then I'll fit, refit, move, and tweak and do what I gotta do. And then down here on this little piece down here, I wound up cutting it. I put a little split in it right here along that radius, and I put a little more of a joggle in it because it didn't have near enough joggle so that the tail pan would fit just right. So there's still a little tweaking I got to do to it, but that's an aftermarket part. You know, that's all in it. You have to do that. So anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing, is using that laser to, you know, to mark this and to mark that and cut it, and hopefully I'll be pretty close, and then I can trim and, you know, get it fitting up in there just right. But I try to put this up in there and try to clamp it in, then put the tail pan on, and then, you know, make my gap between the trunk and the tail pan, make it look as good as I can. So, you know, moving that thing around moves this tail pan. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to try to fit this a little better and do the other side too. Then I'll come back and show y'all what I got. See y'all in a little while. All right, y'all. I'm back. It's still hot, but I made a little progress. I got these corner pieces all welded in, ground down, got everything trimmed to fit these like it should. Got this side in. I think it turned out pretty good, and got everything primed. I kind of went over it, sanded on it. You know, I had one coat of primer on it. I kind of sanded it down real good, everything, and put another coat over it. But I'll go in here and I'll seam seal all this in here in these corners, and get all that sealed up real good. But that seam turned out pretty good in there. I think it looks okay. It ain't nothing that you're gonna be able to see real good from the top anyway, but I think that's turned out pretty good. All right, I told y'all I was going to get these corner pieces stuck up here and fitting, and I did. I got them fitting pretty good. Still got to do, as I put it on, I might have to pull it, tweak it, tack it, you know, and get it all in place. But this down here I gotta have it in the right place, you know, sitting up off of this, because that panel, that rear panel, I gotta have it, you know, meet up here, and this kind of determines where the tail pan's at, what kind of gap I got between my trunk and the tail pan. And so I had to take my time and get these things fitting pretty good. And you know, I'd put these up here, I'd put the tail pan up, I'd close the trunk, you know, and just check everything and make sure that I wasn't welding these things in, and then go to put the tail pan on and find out that I had to move something or tweak something after the fact, after I welded it in. So anyway, I got it fitting pretty good, and that's a mess right there, trying to trim that thing up and make it fit. But I got two spot weld holes right there in the curve in the corner right there that I'll weld in to that inner piece. Still got to need to drill a hole right here in this tab right here to weld it to that piece there. It's on the bottom. But anyway, I got them fitting pretty good. I'll be able to butt weld them in. Like I said, I'll have to tweak it as I go, as I weld it. And I got the torch out and cleaned up all this lead in here, got it out of the way, because you try to weld and you got lead there, it just don't work. Don't work like it should. And another thing I was going to tell y'all is putting this tail pan on and getting the gap right in between the tail pan and the trunk. These tabs here that welded to the old trunk pan, old tail pan, I put a spacer in there, probably a little over 1/8 of an inch. I still got to bend these back to meet up with the tail pan, but I'll do that on my next video. But anyway, I just thought I'd show y'all what I got. I think it's turned out pretty good. Man, this is a lot of work doing all this over here, but you know, it looks good, and I'm glad I done it. Now you look at it from the underside, you won't be able to tell that, you know, it's been messed with. Get some undercoating and spray it up under there, clean it up and undercoat it. It'll look factory. All right, well, I'm gonna end this video here. Y'all leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If I've done a good job on these inner quarter pieces, or what you think about it, how it come out. But if you would, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of people, you know, that watch my videos. You know, I'm getting plenty of views, but if you would, hit that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything, but it'll help me out. I'm trying to get on up to 1,000 or 1,200, and still got the giveaway video to come up. I've got it finished. That's one thing I've been working on, you know, getting that giveaway piece done. So there'll be a video come up on it pretty shortly, so keep an eye out for it, and we'll let you know all the details on that video. All right, well, y'all hit that subscribe button for me, and I appreciate y'all. See you later.